Somewhere I feel it in my soul. One chance is everything we've waited for. It's our time, so let me take it home.
Yeah, cricket is where we begin this edition of the SportsMax Zone. The West Indies intensified their ICC T20 World Cup preparations with a clinical 3-0 series win over South Africa at Sabina Park at the weekend. The Caribbean side followed up a 28-run win on Saturday with a convincing 8-wicket victory on Sunday to close the series. Now, electing to bat, the visitors were restricted to 163 for 7, led by 51 from stand-in skipper Rassiv van der Dusen and 36 from Van Mulder. For the Windies, McCoy, who has been drafted into the World Cup squad as replacement for the injured Jason Holder, took 3 for 39 to lead the bowlers. Chasing for the first time in the series, the Windies made light work of their target, reaching 165 for 2, with Johnson Charles recovering from 2 failures to smash 69 from 26 deliveries, a performance that earned him player of the match as West Indies won with 37 balls to spare. Let's hear from stand-in Proteas skipper Van der Dusen.
I think we just got taught a lesson in how to play in Caribbean conditions, especially from a bowling front. It was difficult wickets to bat on. Yes, yesterday I played a bit better, but I think they just outskilled us, especially with the ball.
Yeah, Johnson Charles also made comments following Sunday's win.
I think it's all about, like I said, implementing what we did in the training camp, and seeing that we don't have, we're still missing a couple of guys to make up the squad. It's promising signs to see that we beat South Africa 3-0. So by the time the other guys join us, I think that we'll have the full squad, and we're just looking to just continue from here.
Yeah, impressive 3 victories by the West Indies. The opening game, they won by 28 runs, their largest margin of victory, batting second against South Africa. Took the second game by 16 runs, and then yesterday's third and final encounter by 8 wickets. Nikhil Uttamchandani, well, he's completed his commentary duties, returned to what Lance Whitaker likes to call the gem of the Caribbean. And yeah, he's joining us via Zoom. Unlike last week when he was here with us in studio, Lance Whitaker missed it. But yeah, we had fun, right, Nikhil?
Yeah, I'm heartbroken, Ricardo. Heartbroken not to be there, but happy to see the legend, the stalwart himself, Lance, back in the studio, man.
Yeah, very much the case. Let's talk about some cricket then, Nikhil. Of the 3 victories for the West Indies, which one were you most impressed with?
I would say probably the second one, Ricardo. Just the way, I think, obviously, I keep mentioning Roston Chase. They're going to say that I'm being biased because he's a Barbadian. But I thought that knock from him and that overall performance from him was sort of an answer to a question that the West Indies have had for a long time. Look, coming into this series, there were 2 points of emphasis that I was looking for. One, how do they go in the middle against spin? The rate has been very good in the last 2 years, but they've lost so many wickets. And obviously, you have the type of players who will be aggressive. But you look at Rovman, you look at Andrew Russell. Rutherford has improved against spin, but you can even look at Shepherd. We've struggled against spin in the middle in the past. So to see someone like a Roston Chase come in and play an innings like that, where he took minimal risk in the middle, and then at the back end of the innings, struck at 270. I think it's so refreshing to see him score runs because of the 6th bowling option that he provides. So for me, it was a win that answered a few questions and a few concerns for West Indian fans, and that's why I think I'll pick the second one, which obviously clinched the series.
Yeah, you know, you had a chat with the West Indies head coach Darren Sammy yesterday, and he spoke about the role that he expects someone like a Roston Chase to play, and he feels it's coming together. And he was quite excited as well about the knock in the second T20 International. But as I listened to Darren Sammy, it brought me to a question of Shea Hope, because I felt before this Roston Chase project that maybe Shea Hope was the one to play the type of role that they're asking Roston Chase to play with the bat. Of course, there's an added dimension to Roston Chase because he has bowling ability. But how does Shea Hope now fit into this T20 side, if any at all, with the new role or with the role that has been given, obviously, to Roston Chase?
Yeah, it's funny, Ricardo, because, I mean, if things had played out differently and Shea was in that Jamaica series, who knows what would have happened? Let's say he got 350s. Maybe we wouldn't be sitting here and having this conversation, but there's a saying, out of sight, out of mind. I don't think he's out of mind, Shea Hope, because he's quality. And I think Sammy has been thinking and wanting Shea Hope to foster in that top order, which is why he's been backed. If you look at the last 3 or 4 series, once Shea Hope has come in, he's been the preferred man. But what I think the England series at the end of last year and the Australia series earlier this year sort of uncovered for the West Indies is that they're not going to be able to win this World Cup with 5 bowling options. So just listening to Floyd Reefer, listening to Darren Sammy, their sort of principal goal from the camp, which you're seeing clips of now, and the series, was to get Roston Chase's batting to a level where it can almost replicate what Shea Hope does, the role that he plays, which is obviously very good against spin, but also able to rotate strike, minimize dots, and be able to sort of step it up in terms of intensity and aggression when required, like we saw. So I just think it doesn't really come down to a better batter, but I think the fact that Roston Chase has this bowling element, I definitely think it favours the West Indies to have him probably as opposed to Shea Hope. What I will say though, with Johnson Charles, and look, it was such a dominant innings that we saw yesterday, but let's be real, he's been short on runs ever since he scored that 100 in South Africa a few months ago. And there's been questions about him against the spin, particularly. When you come up against a team like Afghanistan, I think the West Indies have the option, if they define the role clearly to Shea Hope, they can potentially send Shea Hope up the order to open the batting, especially against teams like in Afghanistan where you will get more spin, or maybe later down in the tournament where the pitches probably are more spin friendly.
Yeah, and you know, Obed McCoy now coming into the setup, of course, because of the unfortunate situation with Jason Holder. He got 3 for 39 yesterday. Of course, he was the leading wicket taker in the tour of Nepal. So a lot of things, you know, going in the positive direction for Obed McCoy. But your assessment of what you saw, because I know you did a lot of behind the scenes work as well.
Yeah, Maria, very impressed, to be honest. Listen, Obed McCoy, in 2021, he was one of the better T20 bowlers in the world, and if not the best back-end T20 bowler. But he's had obviously a fractured shin, he's had problems with his left knee, and it's kept him out of the game. And we know it's never easy to sort of spend that amount of time out or sort of be in and out of the team and maintain the rhythm and intensity needed for this level. But what I saw yesterday was something that I actually haven't seen often from him, and it was a commitment to a plan. Yesterday, he bowled, I think it was Patrick Kruger, Vian Mulder was at the crease as well, Van der Dusen. And he went to the wide plan, sort of utilizing the dimensions that Sabina Park, utilizing the wind factor, and he was hit for 6. And what was so impressive was to see him continue with that wide plan and eventually get a wicket in that over. All 6 deliveries were outside off on a 4th or 5th stump, and it was exactly the plan. We saw the subtle changes of pace. He's got 2 different types of slower deliveries, and of course the point of difference being a left-arm seamer. So what he was able to do yesterday, bowling those 2 overs in the last 5, this is a big deficiency for the West Indies in the last 2 years, and this is why he was selected. So look, for me, I think he starts in this team, and I think he's very needed given what we've seen in this series if he can execute like this come the World Cup.
Yeah, and so unfortunate, Nikhil, that we will not be seeing Jason Holder, of course, suit up for the Windies in the T20 World Cup, because we all know what he adds to the team, the advantages of having a player like him. A quick comment, especially because we didn't get the opportunity to discuss this unfortunate situation.
Yeah, I think it is a big loss, Mariah. I think having the ability to have someone who can bowl across phases, Jason obviously with his variations and ability to hit the deck, his extra height, he offers you a lot. But what I think they sort of miss big time with him, you've got all this power with the all-rounders and Shepherd, Russell, Rothman, etc. But I think he gives you the option as a batting group, because he's a lot better against spin than some of the other guys. In a situation where you lose a few early wickets in the middle or in the power play, he's batted at 3 and 4 in T20 cricket before. So I really enjoyed having that option and that sort of depth to send him up the order. There's Akil Hossain as well, who can play a similar role. But I think the batting aspect as well as the experience, I mean, probably one of the more experienced players on that West Indies team, they'll definitely miss him when it comes to the T20 World Cup.
Nikhil, over the past week, I've heard the coach, the captain, and even Johnson Charles in his post-match interview yesterday referenced the amount of work that has gone into the time that they've spent preparing for the World Cup. And it obviously has paid dividends, because they've referenced the work that they're doing and the plans that they're putting in place. Is there a downside then to the fact that many of the star players who are a part of the IPL competition haven't been a part of this crucial preparatory period? I know the roster becomes stronger with the Purans and so on, but is there some concern that they haven't been a part of what obviously has been a crucial preparation period for this unit?
I think, Lance, I'm more concerned for Sherfane Rutherford than I am for an Andrew Russell. And you saw Russell yesterday in that IPL final. The season he has had, I would much prefer, this is just my opinion, I would much prefer to see Andrew Russell and our West Indian guys playing in knockout cricket, so playing in a T20 final, just the intensity, that sort of match awareness, match fitness. I thought that's going to do him, just the way he's bowling, 19 wickets in the IPL. For him to come straight into a World Cup where it'll be similar intensity, guys coming at you, pitch is good. I think it was great to see him be able to have such a long run. But I fear for someone like Sherfane Rutherford, who had such a good sort of period for the West Indies when he came into the team end of last year in the Australia series. And I think he hasn't played since February 11th. So that's a long time where he hasn't, yes, he's been hitting balls in the IPL. He's been in the substitutes list, but he didn't play a single game in the entire season. So I don't know how much you can replicate sort of the match intensity in the nets. And the West Indies selectors will have a decision to make, because here you have a Shimron Hetmyer who Rutherford came in for. Both are obviously in the squad. But do you then go with a Hetmyer who's played a lot of cricket, or do you go with a Rutherford who has performed well for you but months ago? So I think I'm more concerned for those guys, both Shea and Pooran, who were rested from this series. Obviously, I think they played a lot and batted a lot in India, so I don't mind that rest. Maybe Alzari a bit of concern given the way he was sort of dropped early in the season and was very expensive in India as well.
Yeah, and the reference made by selection chief Desmond Haynes when the squad was being announced and the press conference was held, and I heard you a couple of minutes ago, praising the input from a Roston Chase. I seem to recall Desi Haynes suggesting that Roston Chase could play a role like Marlon Samuels did 2012, 2016, pivotal roles in the West Indies winning the World Cup. From what you've seen in the Jamaica warm-up matches, do you think that Desi Haynes' point was underlined by Chase's role?
Definitely. Not only Desi, I think a few guys have said it. Darren Sammy in that interview, Carlos Pratt on commentary. I think when I look at the 2016 team, Lance, and I look at this one, there's similar makeup where there's so much power in this lineup. But they're missing, I think they were missing someone who can keep it all together. And look, that's Shea, that's Pooran. But both of them also have expressed themselves and want to express themselves as well. And the thing is that you talk to the coaches of the West Indies, they don't want Roston or they don't want Shea to go out and run a ball and sort of change the intent. They want to be as skillful and as difficult as it is. They want to keep attacking the spin, but not lose wickets. And it's not an easy thing to do. The West Indies have done well at the rate, but they've lost a lot of wickets. So I think to see Chase be able to do that in this series is exactly what Marlon Samuels did, where he was able to just bat and be aware of the situation. When they lost a few wickets, he was able to just shut up shop, be very sort of compact, not take too many risks, but he can easily flick the switch. And that was an area that many questioned in Roston Chase's game. And that Ricardo Chambers question a couple of days ago, where he said he prefers him in the test format. So I think that was sort of a statement to Ricardo and the rest of the world who didn't believe Roston could accelerate.
Well, thank you very much, Nikhil Uttamchandani. But, they say that it's not about what you can do once. It's about what you can do with consistency. And the thing about the roles or the role played by Marlon Samuels in 2012 and 2016 is that Marlon Samuels had the ability to really accelerate. He had the ability to take a bowling attack apart as well. But when he needed to play that role, he did, because he had the batting ability to do just that. I will say, I think there are others in this West Indies setup who can play that role where Roston Chase might not have been needed. But I do understand from a bowling standpoint why the coaching and management staff would want Roston there. I hope I have adequately responded to Nikhil Uttamchandani and all his friends across the Caribbean and the world. Don't go anywhere, Nikhil. Stay right there. We're going to go to a break. But when we come back, we're going to be talking other things. We're going to be talking IPL. We're going to be talking success for the Kolkata Knight Riders. We'll be back.
No giving up, so we say we go and bring all of the fight where we are from within. No stalling, so we do it broadly. I can hear the greatness calling. So we're balling is a in bad thing. Champion vibes and we ain't falling. Listen what we sing, so we